I don't think there's any question. The most widely talked about game in the NBA this season.
There hasn't been a game this good in the regular season, this late in the season, in 35 years.
Ladies. So are you playing some hoops?
I am.
Yeah? What position are you playing?
Playing shooting guard.
Yeah? Does that mean you're shooting every time you get it?
Thank you.
On Nowitzki, we'll go swarm. If we have that discipline, 48, we can guard these guys. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind, we can guard the hell out of them. All right, guys, go. Go. Here we go. Come on, go Boston, guys. Son. Do what we do. 1, 2, 3.
You can feel the tension in the air.
That MVP race, that will most likely be decided tonight between two players who are having career best years and leading their franchises to their franchise best records ever.
Have a good one, guys. Have a good run.
Looking forward to something special tonight.
All right, baby.
When the Phoenix Suns met the Dallas Mavericks on March 14th, they had the league's two best records and the leading MVP candidates, Dirk Nowitzki and Steve Nash, which is something that neither one of them could have ever imagined that they'd be when they first began their basketball journey.
I remember the day he was going to have the press conference for winning the second straight MVP award, and I went in the locker room beforehand. He had his sport coat on, and he was kind of half, looking at his hair, pair of jeans. And I thought to myself, the odds that this guy from Canada, who didn't play basketball as his first sport, who didn't go to a major university, is the MVP of this basketball league. I mean, when you consider that, that's got to be 50 million to 1.
Growing up in Victoria, British Columbia, Steve Nash had dreams of athletic glory, just not hoop dreams.
I didn't play basketball until the 8th grade. I think a lot of it is because my parents are from London, England, so I just played all the other sports that my parents sort of introduced me to. But when I started playing basketball, I fell in love with it.
I remember one time coming in and he said, I'm shooting 69%. I said, well, how do you do that? Well, you shoot 10. And he said, no, I shot 100. And that was typically what he'd do. He'd shoot 100 or 300 or, he would always be out there for hours.
I was shooting in the dark and shooting in the rain, and sometimes I'd be out here with my brother quite a lot, and we'd play full court one-on-one on this court, and we'd only play for about 10 or 15 minutes because it would end in a fight.
After playing in obscurity in high school, Steve was finally ready for the spotlight.
I always had dreams of playing big-time college basketball, and unfortunately I really didn't get any recruitment for my colleges except Santa Clara.
Santa Clara was the only college that actually called us and said, send them a tape. And the tape we sent down, the other assistant coach was laughing, and the guy said, well, what are you laughing at? He said, this kid makes people fall over.
Steve would go on to star at Santa Clara, but he never stopped dreaming.
He told me he wanted to be in the NBA. And I remember telling somebody at Santa Clara, and they laughed, and they said, do you realize what it takes to be in the NBA? And I said, well, yeah, he said he's going to be in the NBA, so I assume he's going to be in the NBA.
I think a lot of people say, there's no way you can do it, and you don't have this, or you're not that, but why?
With the 15th pick in the 1996 NBA draft, the Phoenix Suns select Steve Nash from the University of Santa Clara.
He's from Victoria, British Columbia. For a time was known as Victoria's Secret. A secret no longer.
I'm just going to try to work as hard as I can every day from now to the rest of my life. I don't know what to say. It's just a dream come true, and it's unbelievable. It's beyond words. Perfect.
Like Nash, Dirk Nowitzki's voyage to the NBA also had its beginnings in a foreign land, on a court in Würzburg, Germany.
I was his coach in handball, and he was a very good handball player and a very good tennis player. And we thought, parents thought, that he will become a next Boris Becker.
And he could kind of see a future for me, and both of us said, screw it, I want to do something else. He was kind of like, I guess he was kind of a little frustrated that I would throw everything out of the window, what I've done so far.
But Dirk would chart his own course and find a sport that he loved.
Something caught me with basketball. I was watching every All-Star game. I was watching the finals every year. I'd get up at night and watch the games.
In Germany, basketball was only sports for women, never for men.
Dirk had won his struggle with his father, but not with the game.
I was like 15, 16, and I couldn't shoot. I was just tall and couldn't really do any moves.
But fate would lend a hand as Dirk met a former Olympian, Holger Gershwinder.
Well, there was a tall, skinny dude running around, but he has no tools. He could not dribble the ball, he could not shoot it, and he had no power at all. And when he came by, I said, hey, who is teaching you all the tools? Nobody. So, okay, if you want, I do it.
Holger presented Dirk with a bold challenge.
His philosophy was kind of like, hey, you're 7 feet. We can make you a great defender and nobody will know you, but that's not going to get you to the NBA. You're going to make it if you're a great offensive player, if you change your thinking off a 7-footer and just be something else. We started to work, even though it was very unorthodox. I could see that it's going the right direction. I'm getting better.
And on a trip to the United States, Dirk opened the eyes of NBA scouts.
Gonna see you back here in the NBA, maybe another Detlef Schrempf someday?
Oh, I hope so, I don't know yet.
Dirk would eventually exceed those expectations. But on this night, his focus would be on winning this game. And from the outset, that task would be a difficult one.
Nash puts up a three, shoots it! The nice Rambler knocks it down. Back to Nash against Dirk Nowitzki. Nash takes him inside, puts up a 10-footer and scores it. What a play by Steve Nash.
Back to Nash with 4 on the clock, with 3, driving left.
Steve hits the deck, hits the glass, hits the hoop. Oh, man.
And it's 47-31. The Suns with the lead.
Steve Nash, what a phenomenal player.
NBA Stories, brought to you by NBA Street Home Court and HailToTheSlam.com. In stores now. Trailing by 16 points in the second quarter, Dallas would look to Dirk to bring them back.
They'll run the offense through Dirk. Fakes right, turns left, fades and heads. Dallas creeps to within 8. Dirk wants it right of the lane, and he'll fire over from 18, and he hits.
Phoenix had a 16-point lead. That's been erased. How do you guard Dirk Nowitzki?
I don't think you can. Stay solid. Now, you can play pick and roll, and let's look for the big, and I want Dirk to curl somewhere in here.
The pick and roll.
Back out to Dirk, on the move, got away from Nash, goes to the rim, and throws it down.
That's an MVP dunk.
Dirk Nowitzki, the reason that the Mavericks have turned around a 16-point deficit and have a 15-point lead.
Dirk coming to the Mavs' rescue had become a comforting sight, but that couldn't be said about his or Nash's arrival in Dallas 9 years earlier.
I was just all over the place, just overwhelmed with everything. Just coming over to Dallas, there were people waiting on me at the airport. They brought me to a spot and got me fitted for a suit for the press conference.
Most fun probably is to buy him a new suit. And then to get him to wear it was yet another traumatic experience.
That day was kind of ironic that we had everything together. We held our jerseys up together. He looked weird with his hair. It was like brown hair and the top was blonde. And I thought he's a little weird.
Dirk, do you have a statement you want to make? No.
I'm all right. Pass me the ball.
In the right spot.
No, I'm all right.
Dallas had endured countless losing seasons, and they were now counting on Dirk and Steve to change their fortunes. But it seemed that they had made the wrong choice.
Drive it on Nowitzki. Good move, Don.
If you come out of Europe, you're a 7-footer, you're a white guy, and you shoot. You're obviously going to be a soft guy. I mean, you hear right away, I'll be coming in the game, and then my guy would catch the ball, and you hear from the bench, go at him, go at him. You can't. He's soft.
He beat Nowitzki again right there.
New language, new culture, new league. He's 20 years old. It's a lot to overcome.
It's such a huge step. I still can't believe it. It's a totally different style of basketball over here. The pace is much higher under the basket. It's almost like wrestling. Everybody grabs you and pushes you. I'm still not used to it.
He called home a lot, and that's always a sign that things are not good. He was frustrated, he was lonely, and yeah, he didn't know if he had made the right decision.
I was like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to play in this league.
And Steve Nash was also having his problems.
They brought in a new point guard, they gave him a nice contract, and he wasn't producing. You know, the fans, they were disappointed.
They booed him at our own gym every time he touched it, and I remember sitting on the floor, I was like, wow, this is pretty messed up.
This is embarrassing. Fans are booing.
It was excruciatingly painful just to watch two great guys go through those experiences.
But Nash and Nowitzki would find solace in each other.
Dallas Mavericks, one fan at a time. One fan at a time, our slogan. Your turn. You know, we both came to a new city, we both lived in the same apartment complex, and we hung out. You know, we didn't really know anyone else, so we became friends. I don't know if he could be a hockey player.
All-rounder. I mean, I can pretty much play hockey to soccer or whatever, tennis. Just let me know, give me the stick, and I'll play hockey pretty much. What did you say? Not much?
Not much. He's a good tennis player. Excellent tennis player. Let's leave it at that.
Steve was huge for my development, really. You know, trying to give me confidence even after bad games, trying to talk to me and helping me off the court.
We can't all have beautiful hair like Dirk.
Take me out of the hotel and so I'm not being homesick all the time.
That shot, that was terrible.
Yeah, I was in the way.
And they would use that bond to strengthen their games.
It was trial by fire. Both these guys were thrown into this element. Lots of expectations and not a lot of patience. And they spent lots of time in that, dark gym back there, late night hours.
We played horse, we played shooting games, we played one-on-one games. Just constantly working on our games together and kind of grew together.
Finally, in 2001, it all began to pay off, with Nash emerging as the fiery leader and Dirk as his perfect wingman.
Nowitzki steps inside the arc, shedding Wallace, gets it back from Nash. The Mavericks putting on a clinic.
Come here. Come on. We got 1 week left. We got to take care of it now. We got to build from tonight. So the practice this week is better. The season starts better. We got to build now. Hey, Dirk, take him. Take him. You got help. You got lots of help middle. Lots of help middle, Dirk.
It really happened with me and Steve together. I mean, we really kind of pushed each other to new levels.
Nash blows by Anderson. Oh, what a wraparound to Dirk!
They would finally end the Mavs' 11-year playoff drought and in the process become perennial all-stars.
To have your friend there with you and he's developing as quick as you are and we're taking this whole team from like winning 20 games to all of a sudden winning 50 games and 1 year 60 games and going to the Western Conference Finals. That was a great experience that I will never forget.
It was more like a college teammate or a high school teammate. It didn't have that kind of distance that, professional sports brings often to the table.
They were born out of some really controversial times. They were there for each other in the depths of their career. And through those relationships, they pulled each other out. In essence, they're brothers.
These basketball brothers had resurrected their careers, and now with Phoenix in a big fourth quarter hole, it would be up to Nash to lift his Suns.
The Suns need to climb a mountain here.
Entering the fourth quarter, the Suns trailed Dallas by 15 points.
Nash on the way, and one.
Steve Nash taking his team on his back.
Nash would lead a furious Suns comeback, but it seemed like it was destined to fall short.
13.6 seconds remain. The Suns looking for a miracle.
So here we go, and it's Nash. He takes the three for the tie. It's short. They might get another chance.
Rebound Marion. Back to Nash.
Here's Nash, another three.
Suzanne!
the crowd is stunned. They thought this thing was over.
The Suns have battled back and send it to overtime.
This Mavs-Suns game had the feel of a playoff battle. When Steve and Dirk were teammates, they went through many postseason wars together, including a bitter loss to the Sacramento Kings in 2004.
Kings win! Sacramento advances!
That was a tough summer for us. Things didn't really go that well, but you know, we always thought, Steve and myself, we're going to be the core of this organization for a lot more years.
But that summer, the Phoenix Suns made Nash a free agent offer, and when Dallas wouldn't come close to matching it, he left.
I'd formed some pretty special friendships, mates. You know, we were at the bottom, and we took ourselves, nearly to the top, and to kind of turn my back on that with, the job unfinished was very difficult. It hurt, not to be wanted back. Thought that we were gonna, play our careers out in Dallas and win a championship there. In many ways, we were left thinking, what could have been.
But Nash couldn't spend much time thinking about what could have been. He had to try and turn around a Phoenix team that had been one of the league's worst.
Steve Nash has the rebound for the Suns. Out of backcourt with his hair in the breeze. Keeps coming. Shot with the left hand.
And at age 31, when most guards are beginning a downhill slide, Nash raised his game and took the Suns with him.
Here's the fadeaway. A beauty.
Phoenix went from 29 to 62 wins, with Steve running the league's most exciting attack.
Oh, what a pass from Nash!
Infusing his team with a selfless spirit, Nash became the face of the franchise and the league's MVP.
I really just want to share this with my teammates. This has been an incredible year for me and for our team. And for me to come to a new situation and be accepted the way I've been by these guys, and for us to be able to form a bond in a team that we have has been special. So thanks, fellas.
But Nash had one more major event to attend in 2005, a playoff series against the Mavs.
This is my old team, Dirk. It's a strange situation for me to play Dallas in the playoffs.
That was really the toughest thing, that for him to come back and I know how close we still are, and it was weird to just see him in a different uniform.
Oh, what a shot. What a shot. Falling away.
It was pretty tough just to see how well he was playing for Phoenix, and we were all kind of wishing he was still here.
111-108. Nash goes. This is three for the tie. Good! Steve Nash again!
Nash would put on a clinic as Phoenix eliminated Dallas in 6 games.
I've never seen him play better than this. I think he really wanted to show whole Dallas what we missed, and he did that.
But while Nash stepped up, Dirk seemed to melt down.
Nowitzki has been animated and agitated at mental mistakes.
You make mistakes as a basketball player, and I was trying to learn to be a leader.
Dirk's life was pretty easy playing with Steve Nash. He makes all the decisions for you. So when you replace somebody like that, it's a pretty tall order.
But for Dirk, it was an order he would try to fill.
Every time you face something in your life, you have to fight. Nothing will be given to you. You got to go out and take it and fight for it in life or in sports.
And during the 2006 season, Dirk took his game to another level.
Dirk playing absolutely flawless basketball. The leadership, the mental toughness, the growth of his game, and the salute for other people's success.
Dirk Nowitzki is the man, the blonde bomber, the German phenom.
He's gotten so much tougher mentally and physically.
And in the playoffs, he would prove it by knocking out the defending champion San Antonio Spurs.
Dirk Nowitzki, what a clutch play by Dirk.
And then he met up with his old buddy, with a trip to the finals at stake. Nash had just won his 2nd straight MVP, but this time he and his Suns were no match for Dirk and the Mavs.
Nowitzki a 3 for 50. He got it! Dirk Nowitzki
Nowitzki, a 50-point playoff game. For the first time ever, the Dallas Mavericks are champions of the Western Conference, and they go to the NBA Finals.
To see Dirk be able to play for the championship it's exciting. I mean, it hurts a lot that I won't be able to do it, but I'm really admire what he's been able to do. Really proud of his accomplishments, what he's meant to that team, and he deserves it.
Dallas would fall short in the finals. And while the dream of winning a title together no longer exists for Dirk and Steve, the championship is still out there for them to chase.
So it is time for double overtime here in Dallas.
20,525 fans are on their feet. Nash drives to his right, bounces the ball to Stoudemire, flies in for a jam, and he's fouled.
Yes! You knew it would be a great game tonight, but I don't think anybody expected it to pay off like this. To Dirk, left of the lane against Marion. Jab step, moving right, through the lane, spins left, lost the handle, recovers with 6 on the clock. Rainbow is good with 51.4 left.
Nash has it.
What a play by Steve Nash.
Off Terry, and the Suns will have it.
It was only fitting that the game would come down to one final shot.
Suns with a 2-point lead.
Here we go again. A tie or a win. Nowitzki at the elbow takes it. No! That's the rebound! And Phoenix survives a double overtime classic.
NBA Stories is brought to you by AdidasBasketball.com. It takes 5.
And the Suns win this one in 2 overtimes. What a ball game.
Coming back from 15 down in the fourth quarter like you guys did. Unbelievable effort. That's a hell of a job, but we got a long ways until June.
So I think it was just a great showdown between great teams, and for us, obviously, the wrong team won.
Imagine if this is foreshadowing of a 7-game series, what it could be like.
It'll be a lot of fun. Obviously, I think it's a pretty even matchup, and I think we've had some great games in the past. Tonight was no different, and it'll be a great series. Life is basketball, and basketball is life. Their ups and downs, their decisions, their relationships. It's all encompassing.